Thank you. Thank you, Nashville. Thank you. And welcome to this great celebration we're having today of American values. You know, you're going to hear a lot of leaders this afternoon, including a number of potential presidential candidates. Some of you out there may already have a favorite. Others may still be undecided and looking forward to hearing from the other candidates today. As the Republican Party has embarked on a long and arduous process to determine its best candidate for president, it's important that all of you are here today, participating in that effort and discussing the values and the freedoms that we all hold dear as Americans. If you're like most people I've talked to all over America, you're worried about your country. Something's gone wrong. In so many ways, the values that we care about most have been diminished, discounted, and discarded by our political leadership. Values like honesty, integrity, virtue, generosity, kindness, civility. The core values upon which we were raised have been replaced in Washington with lying, conniving, getting ahead at all costs, and building personal fortune and fame among a fawning media that is all too eager to raise their own ratings, wealth, and celebrity. Truth no longer counts. What's best for the country? Irrelevant. There was a time when you could point to many political leaders and media leaders who honestly tried to do what was best for America. For that matter, there was a time not that long ago when just about everyone tried to do his or her best. You remember this. Do your best, your parents urged. Is that your very best, our teachers challenged? Just give me your best, coaches cheered. Generations of Americans were raised with those three words: do your best. And upon that principle, great American communities were built, and this country rose to world prominence as the greatest nation on earth. We did our best. We did our best as individuals and as a nation. We worry today because we know that somewhere along the line, the political class and the media class stopped giving us their best. And our country has suffered. It's time to get back to basics, back to sending leaders to Washington who are among America's very best, with a courage and conviction to do the very best for America. It is good and appropriate that there are so many Republican potential candidates here today for president, and that the GOP process is going to be competitive and it's going to be difficult for the contenders. From a vigorous primary, the tested, strongest, best candidates emerge from that process. From a coronation, you don't get the best for America or even the best for the Democratic Party. What you get instead is Hillary Rodham Clinton. Yeah, we're on to her. She's been coming after us for decades. I'm not telling anything you don't know. Degrading law-abiding gun owners all over this country and trying to dismantle our Second Amendment freedom. Gun bans, magazine bans, import bans, federal licensing and registration of every gun and gun owner in America. Hillary Clinton hasn't met a gun control bill that she couldn't support. She even used the White House to run Rosie O'Donnell's so-called Million Mom March, their self-described registration and licensing march, right out of the White House. All while the last Clinton White House dropped enforcement and prosecution of the federal gun laws in this country to some of the lowest levels ever in U.S. history. And then they went on and exploited tragedy to blame and shame law-abiding gun owners into surrendering our rights. The Clintons tried to blame us for the criminals they refused to prosecute, just to serve their own political agenda. Is that really doing the best for America? Is Hillary Rodham Clinton really the best we can do? Yeah. As the incoming First Lady of Arkansas, she turned $1,000 into $100,000 in risky cattle futures. When asked, she explained her success by claiming to have done her own research studying the Wall Street Journal. Then, yeah, I know. Then she admitted she had some extra help from the counsel for Arkansas's largest employer, who advised and placed the trades for her. He said his help was only out of friendship, not to curry favor with the new governor and the new First Lady. Who was Hillary really doing her best for then? The people of Arkansas or herself? As First Lady of the United States, Mrs. Clinton said she didn't know that her own brothers, were being paid $400,000 to lobby her husband for presidential pardons. She said she didn't know that members of the White House travel staff were going to be fired, even though she issued the order. Yeah. She claimed to have been instrumental in the Irish peace process, even though she attended no meetings and played no role. She said she had no idea how the Rose Law Firm billing records magically wound up stashed in a closet in the White House residence, even though her fingerprints were all over the documents. Does that sound like the very best, most honest candidate Democrats can find to run for president in this country? When her husband stalked and seduced a young White House intern and later perjured himself, Hillary didn't just look the other way. She actively participated in the cover-up and ensuing smear campaign against the victim. Is that really the behavior of someone who really cares about truth and justice for all? Is the best we can do as Secretary of State, who before she was even confirmed, set up an email system to hide any communication she chose. Now, and you all know this, she's wiped that server clean. All those records destroyed by the same Hillary Rodham Clinton, who served as a young attorney on the Watergate Investigative Committee. Maybe the lesson she learned way back then was this: erase the tape, delete all the emails. That's right. Is the best we can do as Secretary of State testifying before Congress about the tragic deaths of innocent Americans in Benghazi, waving her arms in the air and decrying, "What difference does it make?" Is the very best for America a Secretary of State who stashed more than $26 million into her Clinton Foundation, contributions that came from 60 foreign companies that were lobbying the State Department during her tenure? Was she really doing her best for America then? Let me ask you a question. What were her triumphs as Secretary of State? There are none. Not in the Middle East, Iraq, Syria, Egypt, Iran. Failures. Not in Europe, where Russia has invaded Ukraine. Not in Asia, where both China and North Korea continue to build threatening military forces. while the Obama-Clinton administration has been cutting back America's military. It raises a hard truth and a question for every member of the Democratic Party. Has Hillary Clinton done a better job protecting America or a better job protecting herself and her own career? After all, she never really even was a New Yorker. She just moved there to run for Senate and then used that position to run for something bigger. She campaigns as an advocate for women, but she's not an advocate for all women, only for women who agree with her. Is that really the best for all of America's women? As a senator, she had full control over all of her staff compensation. But her female staffers were paid 72 cents for every dollar paid to male staffers. She talks a good talk about equal pay, but her walk left women in her office far behind. So does Hillary Clinton really do her best for American women in the workforce? Her history of scandal and controversy is almost endless. Honest, you can't make this stuff up. You want me to go there? All right, let's do it. Whitewater, yeah, you can't make it up. Whitewatergate, Cattlegate, Jennifer Flowers Gate, Nannygate, Lincoln Bedroom Gate, Travelgate, Troopergate, Filegate, Paula Jones Gate, Vince Foster Gate, Helicopter Gate, White House Coffee Gate, Webb Hubble Hush Money Gate, Pardon Gate, Illegal Gift Gate, Monica Gate, Benghazi Gate, Email Gate, Wipe Server Gate. Hillary Clinton has more gates than a South Texas cattle ranch. And Americans know it. In a dangerous, dangerous world, there's no greater role for the U.S. President to serve than as our Commander-in-Chief. Our courageous men and women in the military put their lives in harm's way to fight for our freedom. They deserve nothing but absolute respect from their leaders, not to be used not to be used as political pawns to promote their own self-serving agendas. Hillary apparently thinks otherwise, for it was Hillary who bragged about landing in Bosnia under sniper fire, forced to run to her vehicle for fear of being shot. But it just wasn't true. She just made it up. When the dishonesty was exposed, she simply shrugged it off and said she misspoke. Is Hillary's misspeaking really the best for America? Is the Obama-Clinton foreign policy that has led to the surrender of ground gained by our brave men and women in the military, that has led to the collapse of morale among the ranks, and has reached the point where they refuse to even acknowledge who our enemies are or how victory can be defined? Is that legacy of failure really the best America can do? The Obama-Clinton policies demean our U.S. military and represent the very worst of leadership. And the NRA has a clear message for President Obama and Hillary Clinton. Please watch the video.
The young Americans who raised their hands to fight radical Islamic terror deserve a commander-in-chief as courageous as they are. They volunteered to fight an enemy you won't name, and many gave their limbs and lives to win ground you surrendered. No previous generation of American soldiers, sailors, airmen, guardsmen, or Marines have been sent into harm's way by political leaders so unwilling to define what matters most: victory. These brave patriots have a deeper understanding of America's place and purpose in the world than Washington's so-called elites and their media enablers. And someday soon, in places America liberated then abandoned, like Fallujah, Ramadi, and Mosul, tomorrow's troops may have to fill their brothers' bloody boots. These are my heroes, willing to fight and die for my freedom. And I demand a commander-in-chief worthy of such sacrifice. I'm the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
So let me ask you this. Of all the brilliant, successful, capable, honest women of integrity in this country, and the Democratic Party too, is Hillary Rodham Clinton really who you want to be our first woman president? Is she really, truly worthy of that high honor? Do we really want to put the country through another Clinton term of scandal and deceit and self-serving behavior? She will not bring a dawn of new promise and opportunity. Hillary Rodham Clinton will bring a permanent darkness of deceit and despair forced upon the American people to endure. One day, America will elect a woman to serve as president and our commander-in-chief, not because of her gender, but because of her character, her integrity, her moral fitness to hold the highest office of the land. That is how a candidate should be judged, and that is how a president should be elected. Americans must judge and elect a president who believes in truth, decency, dignity, courage, justice, and liberty for all. A president who serves not for self, but for all of the people. A president with personal freedom in his or her heart, who treasures the American values we hold so dear, who sees the dangers lurking and will defend our country at all costs. A president who will finally restore America to its rightful place as the freest, greatest nation on earth. This very convention that you're attending this weekend is a celebration of the values and beliefs and freedoms that our nation was founded on. That is what this election is all about. Now is the time for the majority of good people all across this country who believe like we do. Now is the time for the good guys to step forward. I vow on this day, NRA members will stand shoulder to shoulder with you and with good, honest, decent Americans. We will stand and we will fight with everything we've got, and in 2016, by God, we will elect our next great president of the United States of America, and it will not be Hillary Rodham Clinton. Thank you very much. Thank you.